Hi parents, this is Melanie. Just wanted to take a few minutes and give you all an update just on what we've been talking about with our junior high girls over the past few weeks in our series of just becoming a young woman of God. And just wanted to kind of update you. The last 3 weeks have been spent on talking about guarding your heart and your mind. And 3 weeks ago we talked about the importance of guarding your mind, and specifically talked about our culture and the way that our culture feeds our minds many lies as girls and as women, and we just really challenged them to take a look at the things that they're exposing themselves to in media. Specifically, we talked a lot about just magazines and the lie that it perpetuates in our minds that we are not enough, that we need to do this, we need to try this. Change the way your hair looks, change the way your body looks, change it, just constantly telling us that you need to change something. You're not good enough, you're not good enough. And we just talked a lot about that. We also talked a lot about how romance movies really do actually kind of mess with our minds as girls, and how it's really hard to leave watching those types of movies and reading those types of books without feeling like I'm missing something if I don't have that. And it perpetuates kind of this feeling of like, this is how guys are, and it kind of gives you this fairy tale vision of what to expect from a guy. And sometimes that's not always bad, but I think that sometimes overexposure to those types of movies and those types of books can sometimes start messing with their mind. And we didn't tell them that it was a bad thing to watch those kinds of movies or anything, but just to really be aware of the things that those types of movies and books, the things that those types of things feed us. And so we also, then the week after that, talked about the importance of guarding your heart. We talked about different levels of emotional connection and how to watch out for those things in our interactions with guys. We specifically talked about how our culture and the church and our parents will constantly tell us it's very important to guard your sexual purity when you are dating, when you're younger, and we talked about how that's obviously very true and very important. But we also talked about just the importance of also guarding your emotions and guarding your heart and protecting your emotional purity and the things that you can do to do that. And one of the things we specifically talked about was the importance of, as girls, how we love to share a lot of ourselves. We love to share our deep heart issues and our dreams and our hopes and all of those things. We love to share that kind of stuff. And we talked about how when we do share that is giving little pieces of our hearts away here and there. And if we constantly are just pouring our hearts out to guys left and right, little pieces of our heart are going with that. And just so the importance of guarding some of that, and of how to kind of remain a little bit mysterious when it comes to guys. And because as girls, we are very prone to sharing too much sometimes and giving too much of our hearts away in that. Last week, or I guess that would be last night, we actually we talked about as girls how we are formed with desires to be seen, to be beautiful, to be romanced, to be pursued, and to be desired. We talked about those specific things and how as girls and as women, as female, we were designed with those desires. And those desires are not bad. But we talked about how our enemy knows that we are wired with those types of desires and those types of needs, and so we're a way for him to pull us away from God if he can get us to think, oh, I can't experience those things outside of an earthly relationship. I have to have a boyfriend, I have to have a guy to experience those things that my heart really wants. And how our enemy has really convinced us of that. And so we talked about each of those desires and how ultimately God created us that way, but he wants us to have those desires push us to him and push us closer to him, and how in Christ we actually are seen and we are beautiful and we are romanced and we are pursued and we are desired. And we talked really just practically how that looks in our own lives and how we can experience that in fulfillment in our relationship with Christ. And so that it's not bad that we desire those things, but that we would use those things to push us closer to him. So that's kind of what we have talked about over the last 3 weeks, and it has just been an awesome time with the girls on Wednesday nights. There's just been some really great discussion, and they've seemed to be really engaged in what we're talking about and really connecting with it. And so it's been really great to see that. We still have one more week left of this specific series, and so I'll be sending you an update on what we're talking about that week. But I'm also going to attach a few just discussion questions of things that you might want to talk about with your daughter to just kind of keep this conversation going at home. I think it's an awesome thing for you to be involved in these areas of their life, because as I have learned just more and more being around them, and especially in our discussions, these things are really where they are right now, mentally, emotionally. This is really connecting with them. So I think it's an awesome chance for you to kind of build that with your daughter. So again, if you ever have any questions or anything, just let me know, but hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you so much.